And we're back to Cajun Connection in segment number 3, where we're going to break down LSU's 2020 roster and what that can mean for the Tigers' chances to repeat next year. And as much as they lost a lot of players, they still got a lot of talent coming back. I'm more excited than most on the defensive side for the secondary, because obviously you have Derek Stingley coming back, who was a All-American freshman, 6 interceptions, which ties him for, I want to say, the most in a single season for an LSU defensive back. You have Kerry Vincent returning. Jacoby Stevens said that he's going to be returning. Let's see, Maurice Hampton's coming back. He's a sophomore next year, as well as fellow sophomore Marcel Brooks. So the secondary, in my mind, is going to be pretty solid. You have incoming freshman Elias Ricks. He was one, depending on which board, either the number 1 or the number 2 cornerback recruit coming out of California. And then, of course, you had, I don't think he really played much. I think they ended up redshirting him, but Redavius Jones?
I believe so.
Yeah. So secondary is going to be probably the big thing on next year's defense.
It's the front 7 that we're a lot more worried about.
Tyler Shelvin, he is coming back.
And Glenn Logan
is coming back. And Farrell. Neil Farrell.
But, I mean, we're losing guys. I mean, Rashard Lawrence, Brayden Fihoko, Patrick Queen, Jacob Phillips, Michael Divinity, Calevon Chasson. The list goes on. But can the Tigers reload in the front 7? And that has always been, and I know LSU is DBU, but one of the most underrated cores in LSU, in the LSU defense is the front 7. I mean, LSU has always had a reputation to be a suffocating front 7, getting into the backfield and just make life pretty much hell for the quarterback. How will they do this year? And I'm worried about LSU's rush defense going into next season. I mean, you look at how they did against Ole Miss, giving up 400 yards rushing, and I'm kind of worried. How you feel about it, John?
Let's see. The linebacking core took the biggest hit. Was Divinity, Phillips, Queen, and Chason all gone.
What about Damone Clark?
Damone Clark is coming back, and I knew he's coming back. Baskerville, he's gonna be there next year. They do have some pretty solid top recruits coming in. You got Phillip Webb out of Georgia. He was a 4-star. He signed already. Let's see, and Antoine Stampa. Not sure how to say that one, but out of Virginia, he's a linebacker. He was a 4-star. So you got some talent coming in. This guy right here, Josh White. He's out of Houston, Texas. 4 stars, 200-pound linebacker.
He's only 200 pounds?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, they got some recruits coming in. We'll see who ends up developing and transitioning over to the college level. But, yeah, that front 7 is going to be a bit of a concern.
I mean, I know one thing, we're going to have a pretty young defense next year. And, I mean, while we're on the defense, but, with Coach Randall leaving, I know we talked about it as far as, as far as the coaches are leaving. But, I mean, with our defense leaving, I do see a glimmer of hope. If LSU were to bring back a certain individual by the name of Mr. Bo Pelini, and so he is on LSU's watch list. I mean, don't take my word for it, but I do believe that if LSU can bring back a guy like Bo Pelini or somebody like similar of his coaching style, I do believe that this LSU defense can thrive and shine. Despite being young and despite losing a lot of guys.
Okay, so let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. they're gonna have to rebuild the offensive line a little bit. Lloyd Cushenberry declared early for the draft, and crap, what is that other guy's name?
Was it Adrian McGee or was it Damian Lewis?
I want to say it was Lewis. No, Damian Lewis is returning.
Okay, so Deculus?
It was Deculus, yeah. He's not returning.
Isn't what about Adrian McGee? Is he returning?
Yeah, McGee's returning, and Damian Lewis is returning.
Actually, there's a guy I'm very excited about, and he was the number 1 offensive guard.
Cardell Thomas.
Cardell Thomas out of Southern Lab, and he was injured. He was out with injury last season, but I do see him getting time on the field, and just seeing how monstrous he is. I mean, one, this guy is massive. He's like 330, 340 pounds. He has amazing footwork, and he's a powerhouse in the offensive line, and he can make a defensive lineman's life a living hell in the trenches. And this is one guy that I'm very excited to see on the field next year.
Yeah, and the receiving core. Yeah, you're losing Justin Jefferson. Yeah, you're losing Thaddeus Moss, but Jamar Chase is returning. Terrence Marshall is returning. The only reason why I think he was not the third receiver on LSU's roster this year with at least 1,000 yards was because he was out with injury for at least 4 games.
And Terrence Marshall, he proved in the national title game he's just as capable as Jefferson and Jamar Chase. So I do definitely agree with you. The receiving core is definitely going to be still in good shape next year.
Yeah, and Racing McMath is gonna be there. He was
on and off.
He was on and off. I mean, he was 4th on the depth chart, and reasonably so.
So we are going to see a lot more production out of him next year, and I mean, he's a guy that's going to improve his draft stock as well. I mean, I do see Racing McMath probably being a decent draft pick next year, depending on how he does this upcoming season.
And I forget his first name, but Palmer or Trace Palmer. I don't know. He was like 5th on the depth chart.
What about Derek Dillon?
He was a senior, and he's done. He just kind of disappeared this year.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of high expectations. Not even for this season, early last season, there was a lot of high expectations on him.
One guy that I'm interested to see this year would be, he was a top recruit last year, would be Devontae Lee. I believe he was redshirted because I don't think he saw much action at all. And in fact, I'm pretty certain that he didn't see much action. So let's just see. And I think they do have, as far as tight ends come, they got Eric Gilbert out of Georgia. He's the only consensus 5-star recruit on LSU's list. And it should be an instant impact guy. So they may not
really miss Thaddeus Moss?
Not too much. It depends on how quickly he catches on.
The running back core, I do believe, is still going to be in good shape. I mean, we're only losing Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but we're bringing back Tyrion Davis-Price, John Emery, and Chris Curry. And, well, I mean, I'm not going to say about the recruiting because the verdict is still out on a certain somebody.
Yeah. He is a target, and he did decommit from his...
From Georgia.
After signing the national letter of intent.
And I do want to see more of John Emery next season. He's a guy that has a lot of potential. And we saw flashes of that early. And I honestly don't know what happened. I mean, Tyrion Davis-Price pretty much passed him up on the depth chart. Tyrion Davis-Price did a pretty good job in relief of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, throughout the season. And we were able to finally really see how good Chris Curry really is on how, being able to run the ball hard, being a key part of that offense.
Yeah, I think I forgot who it was, but one of his teammates called him
Baby Beast Mode.
Yeah,
I remember the spring game and how he just trucked clean over somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And also we're gonna have to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and that is the quarterback position.
Currently that's Myles Brennan, but Peter Parrish could definitely challenge him.
I mean, the spot is Myles Brennan to lose. I mean, he has more experience on the field. and I'm pretty sure he knows the offense better. So I believe that Myles Brennan is capable. I mean, will he be a step down from Joe Burrow? Yes, but it won't be a huge significant step because Myles Brennan is capable.
Yeah. Oh, that's all the time we have for this segment. Next up, we will move on from LSU football and look forward to LSU baseball, which starts their season February 14th.